Hello guys, welcome back in Goku Manhwa channel. Let's continue. In the apple orchard, Ju Jungwook's father stood beneath the trees and calmly showed Seon how apples were picked. He told her to watch carefully as he reached up, wrapped his hand around the top of the apple, and twisted it gently to the side before snapping it off. He repeated the motion slowly so she could understand it properly. After that, he climbed higher while everyone else stayed on the ground, moving among the branches with ease. That day, the entire family had come out together to walk through the orchard, making the work feel lighter and more communal. As Seon watched him, she felt a quiet confidence rise within her and thought that she could do it too. She remembered how she had stayed up all night on her first day there, unable to sleep, but the following night she had slept deeply, completely worn out yet strangely comfortable. Now, she felt refreshed and energetic. Wearing gloves and standing in the orchard, she was unexpectedly enthusiastic. She reminded herself that Ju Jungwook was Ju Jungwook, and vacation was vacation. This was a short healing life, and she needed to enjoy it fully without leaving behind any regrets. Even though he bothered her often, she kept repeating healing life in her mind, as if saying it enough times would make her feelings settle. It was not yet peak harvest season, but everyone agreed they could not let Seon leave without picking at least one apple herself. Ju Jungwook's father encouraged her to try climbing up, and she carefully held the ladder, answering okay as she steadied it. She looked up for a moment, took a breath, and then grabbed the ladder firmly before beginning to climb. Shortly after, Ju Jungwook's father explained that he and his wife would be going to work in another district. Before leaving, he asked Ju Jungwook to make sure Seon did not get hurt. His mother added that since Ju Jungwook had said he was not feeling very well, he could rest while watching over Seon. With that, they left the orchard together, and the space suddenly felt quieter. Ju Jungwook agreed without much reaction. Seon looked at him briefly, then turned her gaze away, glancing once more at his parents as they left. She told them to take care on their way and promised herself she would pick many apples. Inside her mind, she admitted she was not ready to be left alone with him yet, but she also knew she could not be a burden to her aunt and uncle. As she stood there, she wondered why Ju Jungwook seemed so nonchalant about being left alone together. He looked warm from the work, and when she glanced at his face, his expression seemed oddly childish. For some reason, it made her think of the day before, and despite her lingering uneasiness, she realized that, in a quiet way, she was glad it had ended up being just the two of them. Seon realized that she was paying attention to Ju Jungwook without even meaning to. Her gaze kept drifting toward him subconsciously, and every small movement he made caught her awareness. At one point, he closed his eyes briefly, then announced that he was going up, telling her to wait. She looked at him with confusion, unsure of what he was about to do. Before she could react, he grabbed one arm with his other hand and pulled it slightly across his shoulder. Seon continued to stare at him, still confused by his actions and unable to understand his intention. Then he extended his arm toward her, deliberately showing his forearm and bicep. She questioned him with her eyes, clearly wondering what he was doing. He explained casually, almost teasingly, that he was showing her his forearm. When she questioned him again, his reasoning became even more direct. He implied that since she seemed to like his body, he might as well make full use of it. As he said this, his expression was unexpectedly cute, which only made her look at him again, caught off guard by how relaxed and playful he seemed. At that moment, a thought crossed Seon's mind. He must have already been prepared to be left alone with her, which explained why he had been so calm and nonchalant the entire time. That realization made her flustered, and she raised her voice slightly, telling him to just hold the ladder properly. With that, she stepped up onto the ladder, trying to focus on the task in front of her. Even then, she could feel his presence behind her. He looked at her with the same easy expression, still appearing strangely cute. He reminded her that she only had 2 days left there, making his words feel heavier than they sounded. Because of that, he implied that he needed to appeal to the person he liked while he still had time. As Seon continued climbing, she could sense him standing behind her, watching carefully and making sure she was steady, his attention fully on her as she moved up the ladder. Ju Jungwook told Seon that he was there to make her walk that day, and a soft smile appeared on his face as he said it. Seon looked at him, momentarily caught by his expression. Then he suggested that they finally do the apple picking they had been eager about for a while. He smiled at her again, and Seon found herself looking at him once more, her expression softening without her realizing it. They continued picking apples, moving from tree to tree, until a large number of apples had been gathered. Eventually, they collected them all into a basket. By then, Seon was completely worn out. She laid down on a wooden table nearby, her body heavy and unresponsive. She admitted that she really could not go on anymore. Her arms and shoulders felt so weak that she could not even lift them properly. Ju Jungwook responded lightly, saying it was not as if she had picked that many apples. Hearing that, Seon thought to herself that most of the apples in the basket had indeed been picked by Ju Jungwook. Still, she responded with frustration, saying that regardless of the number, the work was exhausting and felt like it was killing her. Ju Jungwook then suggested that she go home first, take a shower, and get some rest. He even mentioned that she could turn on the air conditioner and relax properly. He told her that he would finish up the remaining work there before heading home himself. As he said this, he looked at her lying there, clearly concerned. Seon hesitated and pointed out that everyone else was still working. Ju Jungwook replied calmly that no one expected her to do more than this. He reminded her that she was there on vacation, and that what she had already done was enough. She had clearly said that she could not go on anymore. Hearing his words, Seon admitted to herself that he was right. However, even knowing that, the thought of getting up and going home felt almost impossible. Her legs were shaking uncontrollably, and she remained lying there, completely drained, unable to move despite understanding that resting was exactly what she needed. Ju Jungwook slowly sat down right beside Seon, close enough that she immediately became aware of him. She turned her head and looked at him without realizing how long her gaze lingered. He reached for the water bottle, opened it casually, and drank all of it in one continuous motion. Seon watched him quietly, her confusion growing with every second. Her expression gradually widened as she became aware of her own reaction, and she quickly turned her face away, as if trying to hide it. Inside her mind, she questioned herself, wondering why she was behaving this way. She reminded herself that she only had 2 days left there and that she needed to organize her thoughts before time ran out. She knew she needed to figure out her feelings properly. However, no matter how much she tried to focus, her thoughts kept drifting back to Ju Jungwook's body, refusing to settle. That realization frustrated her even more. Understanding her emotions felt important, yet her mind was distracted in a way she could not control. After a moment, Seon gathered herself and pushed her tired body up slightly. She told him that she wanted some water too and reached out for the bottle. Ju Jungwook handed it to her without saying much. As she drank, she did so slowly, unconsciously drawing attention to herself. The moment felt intense, and the way she drank made her appear unexpectedly alluring. The heat between them lingered quietly. Ju Jungwook glanced at her and then quickly looked away, his reaction revealing a clear sense of shyness. He seemed unsure of where to look, and his body language softened as if he were trying to calm himself. Breaking the silence, Seon asked how he had been since graduating high school. Her voice remained steady, but her eyes stayed on him, waiting for his reaction. She then brought up what he had confessed the night before and asked why he had only told her now. She wanted to know why he had waited until this moment to say something so important. As she spoke, she looked at him with a quiet sense of hope, her expression gentle but sincere. She added that she was only curious, even though her gaze made her true feelings difficult to hide. Ju Jungwook looked down at her, avoiding her eyes. His face reflected the same strong shyness as before, almost overwhelming, as if her attention alone was enough to leave him flustered. He remained quiet, standing there with that unmistakable vulnerability, showing just how deeply her words and presence affected him.